Hello, N Street Village community. This is Schroeder here. And at the end of this long week, as we come to Friday, after sending a video message on Monday, I wanted to close the week in the very same way. So much has happened this week, and the grounds beneath us seem to shift so quickly, and we get so many different signals. So the message I want to offer you at the end of this week is a message of both hope, great hope that I did not feel on Monday, and also a message of the case for our accountability right now and our readiness to meet its demand, especially as white allies for racial justice. History's echo was clear this week. The racial violence, the protests, the divisions. The mission of N Street Village was founded in the forging fires of just such a moment. Since then, we've made some progress on our goals, and we have a long way to go. And since then, we've also learned some things we've learned the hard way. One of the things that we've all learned is that racism is at the root of our gravest social ills. At the root of our gravest social ills, and that it must be addressed first and foremost. So one of my messages of hope this week is that I think this is the time, this is the moment for white allies to mobilize. And I see a lot of indication that that is happening. I've had a lot of conversations with people, and I've seen a lot of writing, which all suggest that white allies are listening and are ready to mobilize to repair the injustices of our world, or tikkun olam in Hebrew. This is our moment to act in haste to bring peace and justice to our streets right now, and to act in haste to atone for our history. I'll tell you a quick story. I met a woman named Myra who was in our medical respite. I met her only once last year, about 2 weeks before she died. She had metastatic cancer that was no longer being treated. She was unusually cheerful under the circumstances, and we had a lovely visit. During that time, I asked her at one point where she was from, and she told me very proudly, "Oh, I'm a Washingtonian. I was an orphan. I grew up in Children's Village." She was a proud Washingtonian. She was an orphan. She grew up in Children's Village. Toward the end of the conversation, before I left, I asked her, with everything going on, what was her main support right now? And she drew her head back and paused a minute with a look that suggested she thought maybe I was none too bright. And she said, "You are." And there are some moments like that in which we quite profoundly recognize our responsibility. We were responsible to Myra for the rest of her life, for everything that would be comfort, for everything that would be home. We were responsible. We were accountable to her. You could hear her story from another angle too. We are accountable for our history. We are accountable for the circumstances that led to the poverty that is quite obviously tied to racism, that led to the circumstances of that proud Washingtonian named Myra being where she was at that time. We were accountable. I believe we're ready to meet this moment of accountability. So I hope that we have hope. As I've watched the protests, as I've read the writings and watched the civil actions, as I've watched public leaders take a stand in new ways, as I've watched our mayor take a stand, as I've listened to African American staff and colleagues and friends generously share what this moment means to them, generously share the pain and the rage of the moment with those of us who are willing to be white allies. I've heard from many who want to act and who want to know what we do next. I think N Street brings leadership to this moment. We have so many people with lived experience, with powerful voices, ready to speak, who know the message they want to give. We have many white allies who are motivated and committed and ready to continue to learn and to grow into the right role for them. All of this tells me that maybe, just maybe, my message of hope, we are ready in some more real way to address systemic racism. So you're already here, you're listening. You're an ally, you're an activist. I know you share these values and that you're ready with us, not to be the creators of solutions, but to be pavers of the way, to clear the path and signify our alliance. So going forward, we need to redesign, not simply rebuild. May we be guided by the voice of those affected to lead in the creation of solutions. May racial justice be the prize on which we set our eye. May economic justice for all residents of DC be our ultimate achievement. And may collective investment and accountability of all stakeholders, the usual suspects and the not usual suspects, be our strategy for fast and effective impact. At N Street Village, we're working every day to be an anti-racist community. One way in which you're doing that is holding community conversations. The next one will be on June 18th at 9 a.m. We'd love for you to join. You can find all the necessary information on our website, www.nstreetvillage.org, and on our advocacy page. We're in this together. It will take a village. You are a village. You've been a village. I believe we have every reason to hope for a day of greater peace, a day of more justice ahead. Be well, and thank you.